everyone, welcome to another brand new Serenity Yoga Suffolk online class. This one is a brand new one, it's my props class. It's something that I've been wanting to do with you all in class for a long time, and I hope that you will enjoy it. I hope that you can find things around your home to use if you haven't got any of these things. I mean, I usually use a scarf or a dressing gown tie instead of a band. It's the same sort of width as a dressing gown tie and about a similar length as well. You've got a brick-sized block, which is tougher. You can't squeeze that one so well. And then you've got the normal blocks, which I have in class, and these are really squishy and really comfy to use as a pillow or to sit on. They're a bit wibbly wobbly to lean on, so it does work your core a little bit with this as well. So you could use a book for either of those. Just have a look around. Maybe this one you could use a pillow instead, and then use a book for that one. Do whatever you need to do. So we are going to get started today. We're going to find ourselves sitting on our comfortable block. You want to put it nice and comfy. That if you are still not comfortable, so this is amazing for helping with those of you that are uncomfortable sitting cross-legged. If you're still not comfortable in your knees or hips, you can put another block underneath. I'm going to use this one, but you could use two this sort of size, and that will just help you to open those hips and to sit nice and long through your spine. I don't need this one, so I'm going to just take that away. So when you're ready, we're finding ourselves sitting nice and comfy on our blocks. We're drawing our palms together into the heart, or dropping your first fingers and thumbs onto your knees. Allow your breath to float in and out of your body. Your eyes are closed. You feel so warm and so ready to stretch. Breathe and let go of any tension you may be holding onto. Let it go. Keeping that spine lovely and long. Allow those shoulders to roll back and down. Release that neck. And when you're ready, let's take a breath. Take a stretch of the hands. Keep the eyes closed if you're happy to. And let's drop down onto our backs. Let's have a rock and a roll. Have a swish and a sway. Let it all out. Allow your body to tell you how it feels. Know where you need to stretch. Swishing those knees side to side. Getting into those hips. Whatever feels good for you. Breathe and find some release. Staying here, keeping those eyes closed. Now when you're ready, you're going to grab your band, or whatever you're using as your band. We're going to take our band, taking one foot, we're going to loop that band around that foot. We then let the leg straighten out, pressing the ball of the foot into the band, so we have some nice control coming down through the hamstring here. The arms are nice and soft and relaxed, but the hands are holding strong. Now you could choose to hold with one hand, so the band goes between the thumb and the fingers, or you could hold with two hands. It's completely up to you. And holding wherever you are most comfortable, wherever you feel strongest. When you're ready, for me that's with one hand. I'm going to relax my other hand out to the side. If you're holding with both hands, that's fine. Do whatever is comfy for you. My right hand is directing my right foot over to the right hand side. We're getting a lovely deep hip and groin stretch. My left hip is pressing down into the mat. See how when I consciously did that, I've rolled my left knee out to the left hand side, and my right hip is therefore getting a much better stretch. Breathe, use that hand, guide that foot back up to the centre. Now if you're going with one hand, let's swap the hands over. Take the right hand out to the right hand side. Breathe into this right leg and then let it just come over to the left a little. You will feel when you need to stop. This should stretch down the back of the leg into the sciatic nerve, into that hip. You can walk your left leg out a little to increase the stretch. Breathe the twist. You should feel it through the digestive system. Brilliant for wringing out anything you've put in your body that you want to expel. Feel, keep that left hip down flat. It's a temptation to roll over onto the outside of the hip. Right hip can be off the mat on this side. Breathe. Lift back to the centre. Holding, maybe with both the hands now if you're comfortable too. We're going to take those hands, we're going to allow that leg to stretch away. You'll need to let the tie or the strap, the belt, go out a little bit because you won't be able to hold as short, but you will get an amazing hamstring stretch down that leg. Breathe into the back of the leg. Inhale, lift that leg up. Now see if you can take your hands shorter up the strap and encourage the hamstring to stretch towards you. Breathe into the hip. Lift the left knee up as you press into the left foot. We're anchoring through the back of the leg. Breathe deeply. See how much you can stretch here. Can you pull it closer towards your belly? Where are you feeling the stretch? For me, it's the back of the thigh. That must be where I'm tightest. My hamstring doesn't really feel this. It will be very different for all of you. Every single one of you is different. When you're ready, relax that hand, release that foot from the band. Take some circles with the ankle. Take a shake of the leg. Place the foot down, swish the knees from side to side, and let's repeat to the other side. So we're going to take that left knee in. We take our foot and we catch it in the band, making sure you're nice and comfy. Have a little fidget around. Notice the difference. For me, this side my hamstring is much tighter. I can feel it already. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Now when you're ready, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to allow that leg to roll out to the left hand side. If you want to release and hold with one hand, you can then open the right hand up, breathe that hip. Oh, that's a good point actually. That's something that I didn't think of but that you could use. If you want to have somewhere where your leg can rest, so that you target the stretch to the inner groin rather than the hamstring. For injuries or anything, you can place a block underneath that leg. That can be quite nice, that can be quite supportive. For me, I don't want that sort of stretch today, so I'm letting the hip open up to its own amount, then pressing my hand to the right hip to stop the hip from peeling up, and the right knee naturally starts to go from being up to the centre to roll out to the right for ballast. We breathe that hip. We feel this action. Then inhale, knee and foot back to the centre. Switch the hand over. Exhale over to the right. Notice the difference side to side. If you don't feel it, straighten that leg out a little bit, or all the way if you like. Allow that stretch. Twist through that belly. Flex through that foot. Breathe. Hold the squeeze. Inhale back to the centre, hands holding that rope, that strap. We then flex the foot, we press that foot away, we allow the leg to draw down, draw the right knee back up, activate into that hamstring, feel that stretch and squeeze. Breathe deeply. Oh, that's a hazard, the band might try and leap off your foot. Now inhale, use the belly, lift that leg back up, take the hands, see if you can take that foot and take it past the vertical. Notice the difference side to side. Notice where the stretch is. For me in the other leg it was the back of the thigh. For me in this leg it's definitely the hamstring. It's interesting how we're all different. Breathe the chest. When you're ready, let's undo that stretch. Let's take that foot and release it. Let's take some circles with the toes. Let's take a shake of the leg. Just checking in with how your body's feeling. Maybe lower the foot. Going for a swish, side to side. And when you are feeling ready, we're going to bring ourselves all the way up to sitting. We are going to take our block, and you may want to put a pillow or two on top of this block. So we're going to find ourselves coming into a hero pose. You could also put the smaller block on top, if that's comfy for you. It depends how, I don't mean this in a rude way, but how wide apart your sitting bones are. Because if your bum is going to fall off the smaller block, you will probably want to put on a couple of pillows on top instead. You could of course turn it round, but then you might rock forwards and back. So just mess around with this and see how is comfiest for you. We're going to take the legs, we're going to fold them back. We're going to take the block and sit down on it. We then take the toes. Ask them if they'd like to tuck around and tuck in nice and neatly. If any of you have got ankle problems, if any of you have got knee problems, you want to make it taller and gentler, you can do this of course with the legs out in front, or if we're aiming for the hero pose, which is what this leg position is, the higher you lift your sit bones up, the less strain you will be putting upon those knees. So do what is comfortable for you. When you're ready, we're going to take the palms to the chest. We're going to take a breath. And we are noticing how these legs feel to stretch in hero pose. Take a few moments to just connect with your heart space. If your legs are comfortable here, you're going to stay here. If you'd rather come to sitting with legs crossed, or out in front, that's absolutely fine. We're going to take our band again now. Now, you could, of course, if you haven't got your band, you could use, or if you want less fabric to grab hold of, you could use a sock. Use whatever is nearby and handy for you. The handy thing with these bands is that the plastic bit on the end is quite heavy, so when you're doing what we're about to do, it has a bit of a guide so that it's not like a sock just flapping around behind. So we're going to take this band, we're going to lay it over our shoulder. We are then going to take, to think which way around we're going to do this, we're going to take the left hand, we're going to hold on to the band, we're going to close the eyes and inhale up with the hand. We then take the right hand, it holds onto the band, and you can fidget around until you feel a good stretch, hand to hand. So you're pulling down and up equally. You're breathing into that shoulder. We're still warming up, remember, so do what's right for you. Eyes are closed, breath is long. Hold and stretch. The purpose of this stretch is to find that we're trying to get the hands to walk closer towards one another. So if you can grab hold of the plastic bit if you've got a band, or just walk the hands towards each other if you haven't, it's fine, either way. We're breathing into that shoulder flexibility, we're finding that stretch and squeeze, pulling into the shoulders, walking it up the back, noticing the difference as well, one way to the other. Now release those hands. We switch the band over to drape over the opposite shoulder. We breathe that hand up. We exhale, we scoop the other hand around behind, trying to find the band. We breathe and pull into a shoulder stretch. Cool, this side is tighter for me. We're going to gradually work our way down that rope. We're relaxed in the neck. We're breathing and stretching in the heart. When you're ready, you walk those hands a little bit closer, feeling that squeeze and stretch. And when you're ready, undo that hand, release that neck, have a shake, and we are going to make our way slowly and gently up to standing. You can have a shake of those legs as they've been in that position for quite a while there. Have a wiggle of those toes, and we're making our way with all three of these props up to standing. So for me, I'm just going to pop them on the sofa so that I can grab hold of them. Of course you can have them, actually I need that one. You can have them wherever you need to have them. So when you're ready, we're going to find ourselves in a good strong standing position. We're taking our big block, or our pillow, whatever you're using. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to inhale that block up above us. And this is where I ask you that question. Have you ever twanged your back through doing something really simple? Twisting to pick up a pen, twisting to get the TV remote, twisting, leaning, twanging, however it's happened, we all know it's happened. So you're going to take this block which is above your head and we're going to scoop the body around. You can go one way, you can go the other way, you can keep the eyes closed so we're leaning side to side. You can go a little bit back if you like. You can go all the way down. Do what you need to do. Working into that heart space, working into that belly. And most of all, making that back nice and happy. Breathe through the shoulders. Maybe you can take a twist through those shoulders. Opening it all don't copy what I'm doing. It's there as a guide alone. Now, when you're ready, take your last stretch up. Then take that big block. We're going to place it down to the left-hand side of the mat. It's there because we're going to need to grab it in a moment or two. We're going to find ourselves, first of all though, before that, grabbing hold of our band. We're going to get that band and we are going to do just similar to what we were doing just now, putting that foot in the band and allowing the leg to straighten. So you can get your balance, take your band into one hand, take your opposite hand to that hip. So I find it easiest to do the same hand to foot for the first stretch we're going to do. We're pressing strongly into that foot, our eyes are forwards, our chest is open. Now take a deep breath and open that leg out to the right hand side. Can you lift it up? Breathe. Back to the centre. Hand switches. Other hand to the hip. Can you open it over there? That's a lovely stretch. Inner groin, outer hip. Breathe to the middle. Can you take that leg back? Can we keep the weight down into the ball of the foot? Leaning into the back of that leg. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. What range of motion do you have? Breathe that focus. One more. When you're ready, back to the centre. Undo the hand tension. Shake that leg. Give yourself a pat on the back for your balance there. And we're going to do the same to the other side. So we catch that foot in that strap. We take the hand to the strap, the other hand to the hip. Breathe into the heart. Oh! Exhale. And put that foot out to the left hand side. Inhale to the centre. Take the hands and swap them over. Opposite hand to the hip. Twist into that waist. Twist into that hip. Back to the centre. Now let's see. Inhale the foot forwards. Exhale back. The hands might find the hips. They can hold on to the strap. Do whatever you need to do. Breathe into the stretch of the leg. Notice the difference. There really is a difference side to side. See if you can lean deeply into the stretch. Does it make a difference? And when you're ready, let's come back to the centre. Let's undo those toes. Let's wiggle those toes and shake that standing leg. So when you're ready, this is where we need this block, which I kicked over. So we're going to take it to the centre of the mat. Now if you have got one of these foam blocks and it's a bit wibbly wobbly, you're not trusting your core today, you can of course take the book that you might be using or the brick block and you can lean onto that. It is much more stable. It of course, with the carpet under here and the yoga mat, it is going to wibble around a bit, but it's much more balanced than this one. Use whatever you'd like to use. I'm going to put both in front of me, then I've got the choice. We are going to work pretty deep. We're going to work on straightness, balance, concentration. The blocks are there to help us. We've prepared ourselves with the pose we just did. You will all be absolutely fine. So we're going to do the half standing splits. So as you're ready, we're going to inhale, take those hands up. We're going to exhale, lean into a forward bend, hands behind the back. We lean into the toes. Now I am going to go for the left hand coming to the left block. We take the the block to the centre between those feet. So you've made a triangle, foot to block to hand. So there's a nice triangle there. We're nice and balanced, we're leaning into that block. If you don't feel that this is enough of a stretch for you, you can turn it over and lean onto the side of the block. That's a really nice stretch. Of course, have a little play around, see if you prefer the other block. Because I didn't think I'd be flexible enough today to be able to reach the top of that block, I went for that one. It's a surprise. So we're going to lean into our right hand being on our left waist. We're leaning onto our left foot. Now breathe our right foot to come out behind. We're going to look out to the right hand side. You can inhale the right hand up on top of the right shoulder. You can soften the left knee if you need to. Now breathe that right foot up. Breathe into the belly. It's the core that will hold you here. Ooh. We're feeling that stretch. We're feeling that balance. We're feeling that concentration today. Making all our adjustments so we are straight. So we've activated that hip here. The hand then floats round to the left waist. We're then going to pivot back, take the hand, want to keep the leg raised. I really want to keep the leg raised. We are then going to come to lean on the block. We take the blocks down, stacking them up, feeling that focus. Right, here we go. So we've got our hands down on our blocks. You have them as high as you need to have them. This is not a guide for you, it's a guide for your body to choose where it needs to be. Now we lean into both of those legs. We activate through the hamstring, which will be feeling quite tired right now. We are stretching. Breathe those hips to be level. Eyes look forwards, then exhale, lower down, inhale, palms to the chest. Oh, take a breath, take a bounce of those legs. If you want to grab a drink, now is a good time to do that. Cool. That is quite a tough stretch this morning. So we are working on those legs, we're working on that connection with the breath to the body, and I know that my other side is less flexible, the hip is less flexible. So I'm going to take my blocks, I'm going to turn them all around again to where they were. I've got the brick there, I've got that one next to it. I'm going to try and lean on that, might be a bit wibbly wobbly. So you saw I was leaning on the other one quite a lot. So we're going to take palms to the chest. We're inhaling, getting ourselves nice and focused as we exhale and lean into forward bend. Lean into the toes. Let that neck stretch. Then exhale, right hand to your block, left hand to right waist. Breathe to the right leg. See, there's your hazard of using this wibbly wobbly block. We're lifting that left leg up. My balance is shocking this morning. We're opening that hip. We're noticing if we want to progress slightly down. Breathe that left hand up. Breathe if you want to bend the knee. Feel that squeeze. Use that core. Exhale. Come back to the center. Keep the toes pointing and the leg lifted. We flip the blocks around to lean into. We're leaning our hands. Maybe we're going to lean into that block. Be where you are comfortable. That right leg is feeling tired. We're going to activate it up. Breathe into that hip. breathe into that stretch. Feel these blocks really helping us. Lean into that half splits, the hips are level. Exhale, lower that foot down. Oh, take those legs for a bounce. Take that body through a tiny ragdoll to stack back up to standing. Have a shake. Have a release. And when you're ready, we're going to ever so slowly make our way all the way down to sitting. If you do find it helpful to sit on the squidgy block, then you can do that right now. No problem at all. We do need to be able to balance though. So if you feel that your sit bones can't balance on that, I definitely recommend sitting on the mat. Now just take a little breath. Know that you are balanced and comfortable in your body. And then when you're ready, you're taking your band. You're just using this point as a little breather. You're going to lace that band around both of the balls of the feet. And we're going to take the band up. Now you need to make sure that you're right in the centre here, otherwise it won't work. One side will end up without any band and that would be bad. We're then taking our hands, taking that band in the middle and drawing it up. So we've got two loops. I hope that makes sense. So it's like a W shape, or two stirrups for the feet. Now you can take your hands, you can hold wherever is comfy for you. As you all know, I've got horses and this appeals to the horse rider in me because I can hold the band in my hand like reins. My feet are in the loops like stirrups. If any of you have never sat on a horse before, it doesn't matter. It's not imperative to this pose. It just appeals to that part of my brain. We're breathing into the hands anyway. We're lifting with the hands and letting the feet drop down. Now you can hold as close to these feet as you like if you feel that you need to. Flick those bits of band out of the way. Now press into the feet. Lift with the hands. The legs will be feeling quite tired right now from our stretch in the standing half splits warrior 3 inversions. So make sure that you're taking the strain in your hands. Breathe those legs. Power into the sit bones. Power up through the chest. Breathe here. When you're ready, let's cycle it out. Use the arms to do the cycling. Feel how this helps the core. Without the worry of holding the legs up, the arms are doing all the work to help those legs. And then when you're ready, come back to the centre. Undo those bands. Take the legs down and give them a bounce. Give them a shake. Now we are going to come down into our fish hip heart opener. So it's going to open up the chest space and through the spine. If you are not a fan of laying on the sharp edges of these blocks, which I completely understand, I once put one in the wrong place and it really hurt my lower back. If you want to put pillows or cushions on top of these blocks, that is absolutely fine. There is no problem at all with that. I'll go extra slow so that you can get the positioning just right. So you are going to make a T shape behind you. So I would recommend taking the little block and putting it in line with your back, and then taking the bigger block and putting it for your head. So you need to fidget around until you are comfortable with this. If when you start to come down you think, nope, that's not the right place in my lower back, that's prodding, that purple brick, you can go back, you can walk your hands down and then place it. For me, the perfect place is about the mid-back for the waist space. So you're taking that, leaning back onto that. You've got your elbows supporting you. So right now, I've got a tiny bit of weight pushing on the little block, which equally could be a pillow or a book. Trying to think of other household items you could use. For this. Something from the kitchen maybe. Anything that can take your body weight. So we're fidgeting around again. I'm just making sure that's comfy. I found my comfy place there. It's about the base of the ribs. That's where I find the block is happiest. We lean back. We then take our top block. We're laying our head down onto it. Now I am aware that my little block is lower. Sorry, my big block is lower than my little block. So I've got a really extreme back bend going on. So to make that more gentle, I'm going to take a pillow off the sofa. I'm going to put that on there. And I will show you what you can do. If you take that and turn it over, although some people really like that prodding in their back, some people don't. So you can level it out, so that should now be about level. So when you're ready, finding your way to your comfortable fish pose, fidget around. You can take the feet. The ideal pose is to have the feet pointed or the legs at least out straight and the legs relaxed maybe. Do what's right for you. Then take the arms and breathe them overhead. Expand into that heart. Close the eyes. Breathe. Arch and open. This whole class is tailorable just for you. If you do it once and you think you pick up where it's not quite right for you, then of course come back, use pillows on top of blocks, use a different sized book. Cookbooks work quite well, or encyclopedias, because they're nice and sturdy. Breathe that belly. Take a deep breath. You're drawing those hands back. We're peeling our body up. Use our belly muscles and our shoulder strength rather than our back and neck. And when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our backs. You can get your block, that block, or your pillow, and you can put that at the back of your mat so that when we meditate or relax, you can put that under your head. I am going to take that away for the next pose. Make the pretty sofa again, there we go. And then I'm taking my band, we're coming down onto our backs, I'm having a rock and a roll. We're going to find the band as you're rocking and rolling on your backs. And we're going to take that band, a big old twisty loop in my, there we go. That wouldn't have been very comfy on my feet. You're going to take the feet round the band, into the hands. You're going to make that same thing like we did for the little boat pose. And hopefully we're going to get a really good hip stretch here. I know some of you love it when in class we do the unladylike horse riders pose, or the groin opening stretch like that. So this is your opportunity to deepen that, and for those of you that aren't a fan, you might really like it like this. So we're going to take the weight into the knees here. So you're pulling down into the knees, but not pulling with your hands. The gravity is doing that for you. You've then relaxed your hands, your feet are in the bands, so your legs can stretch extra deeply. Breathe into those hips, hold, squeeze, those legs now. Let's straighten them out and take the legs to widen as much as the band will let you. Now use the hands to roll the feet towards you and then to allow your feet to push it away. Getting that squeeze. Then take those feet, keep the weight in the bands, and you can circle them. You can circle them in towards one another, or you can circle both the feet at the same time, so you're getting a roll through the lower back. Do what's right for you, or even do one at a time, as long as you have the weight in the band. Opening it out. And then when you're ready, the legs come to the centre, the knees bend, those hands undo those loops, have a rock and a roll, have a swish and a sway on your backs. And then as you're ready, in your own time, let's take our block, pop it under your heads, make yourself nice and comfy. Maybe if you're using those pillows, you could put them underneath the knees for our meditation. And just take a few moments to breathe, to enjoy the relaxation. And then move and select the next meditation video. Enjoy where you go on that journey today. And let me know how you're all getting on. Thank you all so much. Namaste.